Oh, hello there, outliers. Niyama Shang here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey today. We are going to be exploring what happens as you continue to take your visions and bring people on board to create something that hasn't been done before in a way that feels aligned for you. And I think that today's guest here on the Outliers Edge Roundtable is like aptly positioned to have that conversation. We get a chance to talk to Lauren Kleeman today. Lauren, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on, like taking the time. Thank you for gaining the experience so that we can find each other. And I'm really excited to see what happens in our conversation.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and to talk
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Let's give outliers a chance to get to know you. Would you mind sharing more about you and the game you're currently playing?
Yeah, of course. So, my name is Lauren Kleeman. I am a writer director, comedy writer director. I have been working in film for about 15 years. I have worked as a sound mixer and a production coordinator for commercials. So I've done tons of projects across the board, films, documentaries, commercials. I've worked with Zendaya, Enrico Nasty. Um, I've worked with Chanel and Nike and LeBron and like all these big, cool things that I've gotten to do. But which I've loved. But at my heart, I've always wanted to be a comedy writer director. So I have, over the last few years, been making that shift from doing those other jobs in film into like what I ultimately want to be, which is a comedy writer director. So I have been very focused on my screenwriting, and I wrote a script a few years ago called Trailer Park Queen, which won a pretty big screenplay competition. And that was kind of my uh, the catalyst for myself, where I was like, okay, like I know what I'm doing. Like I got something. So I wrote the short version of the script, a 15-minute version. I raised $10,000 through Kickstarter, and I made a short version of the film that I have been putting through the film festival circuit and pitching to people so that I can make the feature version. So that's me. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, just want to tell stories. I want to talk about really big topics like um, classism, feminism, ideas of identity, but through a very silly, fun lens.
You got me caught behind the mute trap is what I like to say. Lauren, this is incredible. Like a couple of different things. One, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about this year, and as there'll be multiple opportunities for you to share like where outliers can go to find out more about you. Like, let us know where we can go watch a video. Let us know like how we can reach out to you. Like this feels really cool. Some things that I'm getting right off the bat, because one of the things I look at like is who you're being and how you show up in the world, right? And so one of the things I'm hearing from you, Lauren, is that like you were playing a game right now where you were like you're in the film industry, you were making things, you're producing things out into the world and such, but and you're doing it with big names, right? It's like names that we have heard and things like that. However, even playing at that level, it wasn't actually like fully in alignment with what you wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
So like there's a part of me is like, oh, I can see a lot of people working really hard to try and get to that spot, but you got there early in your career and you're like, this isn't it. And now I'm looking like this is the real path I want to go down. So let me go make that path. Can I ask you about like like was it an easy transition to make? And if it wasn't an easy one, like let us know about like how did it feel as you were like saying no to something that like on paper like looked really great, but in your body may not have felt as good.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not easy. I feel like it's still not easy, and I don't
Mm,
think it'll ever be easy. And I think I've accepted that it'll always be hard. Um, but I'd rather be on the right path going slow than the wrong path going, even if I can get further. So I think it's a really hard choice to pick yourself at that like level. But I just know that it's like in my heart, I just know that that's worth it, and that's like what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just like following that intuition, um, no matter how hard that is or how poor I get.
So let's play through that a little bit because I think like you said something that really hits me. I want to make sure I repeat it. It's like I'd rather be on the right path going slow than on like the wrong path, like going fast or whatever, even if it's easier.
Hmm.
And that I think is the like that feels like the outlier way. All right. This component of choosing yourself and being able and saying like, okay, how do I create and like, provide for my livelihood and beyond in alignment with me? All right,
Hmm.
that's my kind of like my overall way of saying like in alignment with you. And so I want to just like slow down and just like be like, yeah, I get that. Um, Other things that I also want to just reflect back and note here is that like you show up in alignment with that, right? Like I see like what you like. It says comedy writer and director. Like you earlier you had said I want to be. I was like, but you are like literally this is it. Like this is what you're doing. So like
Hmm.
let us just be in that space right off the bat, right? So
Yeah.
like like let me hear you. Let me check in with you. Does anything feel different when I point that out there when I reflect that back? It doesn't
When
have
you
to, by
point
the way. I
out,
just wanted to check in. Like the being versus wanting to be. Like it's like okay, you're already in it.
yeah.
Like versus the wanting
No,
to be in it.
I think that's something I've always struggled with, definitely,
Mm,
and like, you know, you have to say like, yes, I am that thing. I am a comedy writer director, and I think that has been a hard challenge and
yeah.
continues to be. But I'm practicing that and getting better at that. Like, no, you can just say that you are. You don't have to say, well, I want to be, but this and this and this. Like, no, I can just say like, no, I'm a comedy writer director. I'm not there yet,
This
but
is
you know,
Lauren, you had it, and then
I'm
you
still
just like
trying.
then you said like, but let me just go right back to it, right? You were just there, like outliers, as we're having this here, Lauren. Firstly, can I just say like thank you for being so open to this, like and being open in this space here, because I think that this is part of the vulnerabilities of being an outlier that doesn't show up. Like it's like how do you continue to step into a new identity or a new way of having people see you when like you've already been on a specific track and then I think it's like the like one of like the challenges in my mind. I've been saying like the curse of like the high achiever, where it's like, hey, you've already done such big things that like the next thing you do feels like it should be just as big. Like you want to make that lateral
Hmm.
move, but like instead you have to like do the work of that work, of that
Hmm.
path. Like I got something. We'll go in more than this, but like to me, I'm seeing you and how you show up in the world here, Lauren. I just don't think it's a small move what you've done.
Hmm.
Um, I get like I really like believe in that wrong that like choosing the right path or going slowly on it, or like or and even if it means you're going slowly, not choosing to go slowly, because
Hmm.
I look at this a lot of times. I'm like I can get really good at something, right? Like I was even just sending a message to my teammate earlier today, and I was like, I'm getting really good at doing live podcast conversations, but
Hmm.
like, I'm here for transformational coaching. I'm not doing enough of that. Like, we have to spend more time working and building and accumulating the skills of what we're looking to grow in, as opposed to like what is just like conveniently in front of us. Do you have anything else you want to say on that? And then we'll get into more of like your work and how you get into it. But like I just really appreciate getting to see you and being able to have this conversation.
Um, yeah, I think I think one thing that makes it really challenging too is not only your internal self having to like believe in yourself, but like especially when you say like, "Oh, I worked with Nike," someone will be like, "Oh, that's so cool." Whereas if I say like, "Oh, I'm working on my own thing," there's sometimes not as much
Mm.
recognition because people haven't heard of it, and it like and then you start being like, well, there's like a reaction from others from this, and it's like you have to not allow your ego or like the idea of what other people think to like take over what you are really meant to do.
Oh
You're
Lord,
smiling a
like when you
lot.
say that, like I'm smiling, like I'm smiling, but at the same time, like my face is like contorted and like I can feel it. So like just so you know, like when you're in conversation with me, my whole body is up is a part of the combo, right?
Mhm.
And there was something really real in it, like because what I heard what I experienced when you said it's like, oh, I described it once as like I feel like I fell out of heaven. You know, like there was a time where like anything I said, I'm like, oh, I work at this company or I'm doing this kind of thing. Like, and they're like either they didn't know it, but they're like, but they felt like intimidated, like I don't know what that is, but maybe I should. Or they're like,
Mhm.
oh wow, you know. Then now I go and I'll share what I'm doing. They're like, it will eventually come to like, oh, like a life coach, like, and I'm like, no, not like
Mhm.
don't shrink me, like try and see what it is. Like I'm doing this
Mhm.
epicness behind it all.
Mhm.
Um, it's tempting, you know, like it is tempting to like go back to the accolades. It's tempting to be accepted and supported and to have that like glint in people's eyes. Like
Mhm.
when you say things here, like how's that like do you like think thank you for bringing this in. I want to talk a little bit more about it. Like how do you navigate the kind of like the gravitational pull to go back to something that feels like more widely accepted or appreciated or whatever it is in this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, I think it's really hard, but I think that's like just going back to like following my intuition and knowing like
Mm,
I need to make this about me and like cuz this is
mm,
my life, so I need to do what is going to make me happy and not what I
mm,
think other people are going to want me to do.
mhm, mhm. Lauren, I have to say, like, uh, thank you for walking that walk. I'm sitting in this conversation with you because I realize that it's easier said than done, and we're seeing
Yeah.
you actually in the doing of it. And so I really want to make sure I'm acknowledging that and putting that in here. You know. Yeah. Outliers for
Thanks.
you, like, yeah, yeah, no. Thanks for doing the hard work here. Like outliers for you, where are you right now? Looking to finding yourself like clinging to like the acknowledgement or recognition or whatever from others, and what would it be like to like actually choose yourself and to do things in alignment with you on here? And, like the way I like to say is like, come
Do
on
it.
in, the water's warm. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like
Do
uh,
it.
it's not an easy path. It's typically
Mm-mm.
pretty simple. It's like, oh, I got to just do what's right for me. Like there's a simplicity in that, but it's not necessarily an easy choice to make.
Mhm.
And then
And
and
I'll
then on top of
say
that, easy choice to live.
oh, sorry, what'd you say?
Go ahead, Lauren.
Um, I was just gonna say, yeah, like right out of school, which was whatever, I don't know, 10 years ago, I like knew that I wanted to be a comedy writer director, but I didn't have like the confidence. And I was looking around at everyone around me, and I'm like, and I went to USC, so it was like a pretty big film school and a lot of kids, are nepo babies. They have a lot of money, and I'm like, well, and everyone wants to be a writer director. Like, why should I? Like, I can't do it if everyone's doing it. Like, am I really gonna stand out? And I like put that belief in my head for so long that I like wasted. I won't say wasted. I used a lot of my years doing other things because I didn't have the confidence to do what I wanted, and I was putting too much on like, well, they were only able to do it because their dad is this person, or and just making excuses for why I couldn't do it. And I think, you know, I had to change that within myself. That was the only way it was going to change was within me because the world's going to be how the world's going to be. There's always going to be nepo babies. There's always going to be people who get opportunities that I won't. And I've seen people who have started off with more than me doing less than me, and I've seen people with less than me do better than me. So I like realized I can't really use that excuse, and I just gotta go on my own path and figure it out for myself.
this is uh this is hitting me like outliers. They've seen this here where like I'll have conversations and I'm like, how is it that you're talking about the exact same thing that I'm going through? You're like you're
Hmm.
speaking it in your world, but like for me, Lauren, on Friday, so just a few days ago, I was talking to someone and I was expressing like a desire to to play at a higher level, and I was and the way that it shows up for me isn't like oh, their parents have this or that, but it shows up for me where it's like oh, I'm like I'm all alone, and I want to be I have a group of people that I can go to, and but if I bring my real problem to them, they wouldn't either wouldn't be able to help me, or they wouldn't like accept it. And I think underneath it, I would get mad and be like, I can't hang out here anymore because I've
Hmm.
outgrown this space. And so I
Yeah.
had that as like this belief that I was having, which is like so I can't be successful because there's no one else around that can help, and I want help, you know.
Yeah.
And something came up in that last conversation where I realized I'd done all the spreadsheets. I'd done all I talked to the AIs about it. Multiple AIs all came in with the same end conclusion. I'm like, and at the end of the day, I was like, oh, this has nothing to do with any of those people at all. This is all about
Hmm.
my own self trust. Like, I'm
Yep.
trying to outsource my trust to them. Please tell me that what I'm doing makes sense. Please tell me that it's going to be okay. Please tell me that even that you'll still want to hang out with me as I'm doing. Like, there's something about that where it was like, oh, actually, the real man is that you're afraid that you're going to take a risk and it's not going to work out,
Hmm.
and let's call a spade and like lean into the self-trust there. All right. What comes to you as
Yeah.
I share that, Lauren? Anything come to you at all on it?
I like that phrase, outsourcing trust. I think
Mm,
that's a good phrase.
yeah.
But I totally agree. Yeah, it's so internal, and it doesn't feel like it, but you really gotta sit with yourself and figure that out.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like I said, like we can't change the world. We can just change who. We can only change ourselves. So
Mm,
you know,
mm.
we work with what we got.
So you're working with what you got here, Lauren, and like I want to hear more about like what you've been creating, how you bring your creative process out there. Like I'm excited for the film that you've created, and like the process of turning it into feature. So would you mind sharing with us more about that here? I want to
Yeah.
we'll see where the rest of the conversation, but I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, definitely. So I wrote this film after a um, 8 year long relationship breakup. Um, so I was 28 at the time, and I was like, basically I had to start my life over. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so old. Like, I'll never be, like, how am I going to change? Like, it's too late for me. Um, and at the same time, I was going through all of this, I was noticing how much media, film, and TV, everything is about like 20-year-olds. Everything is about very young, conventionally attractive, heterosexual people. And I was like, what if my grandma in rural Indiana had to restart her life? And, what does that look like? And that was kind of the start of my film Trailer Park Queen, which is about a woman in her 60s. Her boyfriend breaks up with her, so she's going to join the county beauty pageant to win him back. And she inspires all of these other older women to join the beauty pageant, and it's um, becomes this discussion of like beauty and aging and who gets to decide like what beauty is, and like why is it so tied to youth, and like how can we show like beauty in other ways, and kind of showing beauty not through the male gaze, and also just showing representation of older women that we don't usually get to see in very like rich roles. They're usually like the grandma, or but like showing like these really awesome hillbilly women, older women. Um, yeah, so that's my film Trailer Park Queen.
This is awesome here. So like you started out with this vision. You brought this film out to life right now. It's gone to like awards, and like it's gone through that whole circuit. Like let me ask you this question. Here it is. I know what it is, Lauren. I'm like, ooh, what you do fascinates me. And so I'm really curious about like what is the journey from an idea to a feature, like in the world that you play in. What's a typical journey there? Like if we can
Yeah.
level set, then I can play around more.
Well, there is no typical journey. which is what makes indie filmmaking really hard. There's like the studio route, which I don't have access to as of now. But indie is kind of all over the place. A lot of it is luck, timing and luck. Basically, making an indie film is equivalent to like making a startup. Like you're having to get money that for a thing that people believe in, and then you hire people to make the thing, and then people want their money back. So it's kind of very similar in that sense of like you're just making a business, you're becoming a CEO just for this film, and then every film you make you basically have to do that again. So yeah, the journey so far has been, I did my short with Kickstarter, so I used social media and I just made silly little videos to like inspire people to give me money, which worked pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got $10,000, and yeah, so that was that journey for that. Which doing a Kickstarter is really hard. I don't know if you've ever raised money. It's not fun, at least for me, and it's hard. But yeah, and then for doing a feature, you basically just have to find people who are connected to the material, who are interested in it. A lot of investors for film are not filmmakers. They just want, to be a part of the film industry, or they're really attracted to the material, or they really believe in the people making it, and usually a combination of all those things. So it's really just about finding the right people you know, who would believe in this project enough to hand over, $1 million or so.
Cool. Outliers. Like we are like that group of people who either us and ourselves or the people we know might make something come out here. So if you have any questions for Lauren, if you know anyone that like Lauren should be in contact with, or should be hearing about, like finding out more about what Lauren has created and the vision altogether, like let's make something happen as a community. Lauren, what's the best way for, if there's anyone right now that's listening to this and saying like, okay, like let's make this happen, let's come together. What's the best way for them to make that? To move forward.
Yeah, either my email, which is my name, Lauren Kleeman Cinema at Gmail, or Instagram, Exploring the World, but spelled like my name, Exploring, but with Lauren.
Exploring. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I see you there, Lauren, with exploring. All right, awesome. We had a question come in that I want to make sure that I ask here. The question here is, like many entrepreneurs identify with their company or business, and then they realize that they need to create a separation. To what extent do you feel like you are a part of your work? I'll have a secondary question based on that, but like, to what extent do you feel like you're a part of your work?
Oh, I mean, we're entangled. I feel like I am them, they are me.
Mm,
I think especially doing creative stuff, like I mean, I think with anything that you love and that you do, you have a connection to it, but especially creative stuff, especially coming from intimate emotions that I was portraying through this film, that I'm just like I'm 100% connected to it. I feel like, yeah, it's my baby.
Yeah, I like in my mind, I'm like, it's her baby, and like then you went out and you just said it. Yeah, no, I think it's really like is there any challenges with having that kind of like that intertwinedness there? Like, is there a time where you're like, oh my, I just wish we were separate? Like tell us a little about that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, it becomes very difficult. Yeah, because it's like, I've been working on this film for 4 or 5 years, of
Mm,
like these different stages, and it can become tiresome. I don't know if tiresome's the right word. It can become jaded. It can feel like stale, just kind of being like, okay, I want to like move on. I want to like move to the next step, and just, it can feel like, it feels like being stuck sometimes, when you lose momentum. So yeah, I mean, I feel like, you feel the whole range of emotions, kind of like your relationship with yourself or even, your friends. Like sometimes you're really close, sometimes you need a break,
Mm,
you
mm.
feel all those emotions with an art project.
How do you keep the juice going there? Because like when you talked about like it being like 4 or 5 years, like I got it. Like I think I'm finally like this is one of the benefits of playing this game right now, where I'm like, oh, sorry. Let me rephrase this here, Lauren, if you don't mind. Like what I
Hmm.
want to make sure I do is that I don't hide behind being a host on the show and not have to like not have to like actually show up. Um, like what's coming for me is like I've been doing Outliers Edge as a podcast in some variation for I've been podcasting for over 10 years. This thing's for like 4 or 5 years, like on and off, right?
Hmm.
And there's like when you just described like, okay, I'm ready for like whatever that next level is, like it actually hit me. I was like, oh, I
Hmm.
think that's what's happening for me. Like I'm like, we can like we're gonna keep doing this. Every conversation's fresh, every conversation's this, but I am actually like very excited, like ready for that next thing. So I'm curious about like how you keep the mojo going because like what I'm hearing from you is like this idea has evolved over the last 4 or 5 years. You haven't been in the same spot each of those years, but like the time between one level and the next, like is not is
Yeah,
like can be pretty long. What are your thoughts on
yeah,
that?
totally. I think definitely appreciating the wins, and taking those, because it goes up and down. And I think recognizing and um, accepting that, there will be times that are harder is definitely a big part of it. Um, I think that I lost my train of thought. Can you ask me that question again?
As you're talking, there's another question here. Like, and thank you for being real about it. The like, so I get curious about like the filmmaking process that you're in right now, right? And
Hmm.
the question I was like, the question for me was like, how do you keep the mojo going? How do you stay in it as
Yes,
like the
yeah.
time goes on? Is there anything else you want to say to that?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like always trying new avenues. I think even something like this, where I'm talking to you, is like makes me excited to like rethink about it and get to talk about the film. And like, I think, connecting with other people and hearing their stories or hearing what they're doing and like I think being inspired by others to remind me like that, yes, like this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm. Yeah, there's a reason why I love to have like conversations like this and bring people together because it's like in the vision creation like journey. It's like how do I almost feel like if I needed to like build a house, I would like need to have it like prefab, like already done. Because like my in
Hmm.
like I see people building things, and I'm like, but it's not here yet. Like how do you have that? And that element of like staying in the game, continuing to move forward, is something that really like plays out and such for me over time. Where do you get your inspiration? So like you're a comedy writer and director, like where like I'm curious about like where you get your inspiration and in it, how do you keep your like originality slash authenticity
Hmm.
playing out?
Yeah, I mean, literally anywhere and everywhere. I think that I always refer to myself as a walking question mark
Hmm.
because I just have so much like curiosity for the world. And I think just, I like to read a lot of books. I like to go outside. I like to just, ponder and sonder. And I think just basically finding beauty in everything, I think is what really inspires me. Um, yeah.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. I there's a realness in this experience right now that I want to just like call out and like call in right here, where it's like I feel it. I feel this component of like like staying in the game, continue to elevate, continue to play out overall. So like let's see here. You're taking on this project. You're going out and like you're bringing it out here. What was it like to like have like the first screening of Trailer Park Queen out into the world?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really great. I've I've cried so many times. I'm like, oh my god, I made that. Like I did that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did that, you know, with the people I
Yeah.
made it with. But yeah, it was kind of like I mean my friends from Ohio, where I'm from, like flew in to see it. They were like, "This is basically like your wedding." I'm like, "You're
Mm,
right, it is. This is
mm,
my baby shower."
yeah.
But yeah, it was really special. I did, I I I mean, like a wedding. I made a whole event. I rented out a movie theater. I made posters. I did everything I could think of to make it awesome. And just having like a full theater of people watching it, laughing, hearing people laugh at my jokes, you know, that's what I'm on earth for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really, really, really special to watch the film in a room full of people, especially people that I loved, and just seeing all the cast and crew there and letting them get that experience too. It's I think my main actors, they're all older women. The three of the leads are in their 60s. The other one's in her 30s.
Mhm.
So it's just really cool to like see them on screen and see other women in the audience talk about how it was cool to see themselves on screen, because representation is such a big part of film, and that's like a big proponent that I really care about in film is showing representation and showing like really cool and interesting people, especially that we don't get to see a lot. So getting feedback from women in the audience being like, "Thank you for like showing me for showing like older women," was like just so special. Like that's always my favorite part, is hearing people laugh and hearing people who really resonate with the film and feel seen by watching it.
Mm, I'm imagining what it's like to like have put that out there. No, I think it's really cool in talking to you, Lauren. Like you bring your I feel like we're like two kindred spirits, like that are both like on the same kind of like movement, but we have different tools in order to create
Hmm.
it out in the world. Like even when you're just saying like telling people stories or help them like feel seen, like I'm like there's a very real part of that here in Outliers Heads, right? There's a very real part of like opening and expanding the stories that we see out in there, and honestly just finding something that like reconnects back with us. Like I think I don't know what your philosophy is on comedy. I'd be curious about it, but I feel like when you talk about even like people laughing at it, it's like we laugh because there's a truth to us, like in it.
Hmm.
Like we laugh because it expresses something that we we know but may not always say.
Hmm.
Like let me know here. Like what's your approach to comedy? What's your philosophy behind it? We'll start wrapping up from there. But I'm
My
curious if there's like a
philosophy
thing.
on comedy.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
like I just I've never asked anyone this year. I'm like, is that a thing? Is there like is it you know?
Ah, that I like that question. That's interesting. I mean, my philosophy is that um, jokes should be made. Hmm, no word. Well, I would say my philosophy is I don't believe jokes should be made at the expense of people. I think that's really lowbrow comedy if you have to like make fun of other people. I think that, finding ways to make basically make the world, but like the world, um I don't know what words to use. Kind of like an exaggerated world
Mm,
where you see like yes, these are real people and you get it, but there's like a style to it that makes it like very specific and like bold and yeah. I gotta think. I like that question, and I'm gonna think about a better answer for that because I like it.
yeah, I'm gonna like I'll leave you with that right here. Like I often like to like give space in there, and thanks for sitting with it and playing with it in this way here. I think it's just a really great example of it here of not having to have all the answers in, like, if we're doing this right, like I always say to people when they come on, like, we're doing this right, like we should remember something about ourselves, like we should be able to tap into something that isn't there. And I think that, like, that's part of what, like, your stories that you tell, like, how people do too, right? They're like,
Hmm.
oh, I didn't even know that, like, I didn't know that I wanted to be seen this way, or wanted this to be expressed, or like finally someone said it,
Hmm.
and luckily they said it in a way with humor and everything else behind it. um yeah, I'll be curious, like, as time goes on, like, and like, don't be mad at me if, like, years later you're like, yeah, I'm still, like, trying to figure out, like, my philosophy. Um, I was remember like, after I asked it, I was like, it's like, is this even a question you can ask? I was thinking about, there was a Netflix special from years back. It's still on Netflix, I'm sure, but it was the Hannah Gadsby one, Nanette. And in it, like, she was like, I'm quitting comedy, and like, like, one of the major things that she was talking about was like tension, and she's like, to me, comedy is like being like, I watched that and I have to go back to it. But like when I experienced it as like a master class in tension of like
Mm.
I know how to build up, and then I'm gonna give you a release. And I'm gonna build up and I'm
Hmm.
gonna give you a release. And so, like, that, like, when I asked that question, after I asked, I'm like, why did I ask it? I'm like, oh, that's like, it's because of that. It's because
Yeah.
I guess it's the part of me that's like, I see what's happening and I know what my body is doing, and this feels
Uh-huh.
funny to me. And I'm curious as to why it feels funny. Like, and how you, like, how people who actively, like, design and create and write and direct, like, elicit that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
reverse engineer that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, thanks for playing. Thanks for playing so fully here, Lauren. Outliers are like, if any outlier wants to go deeper down the journey with you, if they want to watch the short film, if they want to, like contribute toward where you're going, or be a part of your ongoing journey, what's the best ways for them to do that?
Yeah, I think, yeah, probably Instagram. So yeah, exploring the world, but spelled with Lauren.
All right, cool. Let's make sure we got that right here. Exploring the world with Lauren in it. The the last thing I'd like to ask as we wrap up here is, to get your insight on this conversation. Right. So, we every time I have a conversation, the whole point is to have a life changing conversation. We should grow as a result of
Hmm.
it, right? And so I'm curious for you, like, what's one thing you're taking away from this conversation? What's an insight that you had as a result of being here? And if you didn't have any insight, like, that's totally fine. Like, don't feel like you need to force it. But if there is anything, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super happy to be here. It was really great to talk to you. I think it was cool to hear that, even though that we do such different things, that like we are dealing with parallel struggles, like similar things, both mentally and just with the world that like we all kind of have to deal with. We're just doing it in different fields. So it's kind of nice, I guess, to know that like these challenges are across the board, like that we can all relate to each other in that way. I think is really cool.
Yeah, I think, Lauren, as you say that, I'm like, I think that, like, it's the element of, like, we're trying to create something that hasn't been done before, or trying to, or
Hmm.
and also trying to create that which, like, I say, like, why your soul's on this planet, right?
Hmm.
I get for you, Lauren, like, it's not here for just one film, right? But
Hmm.
it's to continue to find, like, to continue to tell stories that aren't being told, to shine lights in places where it is, where that haven't been, like, shown light on in places before. And I think it's from that level of connection where we're like, these are the challenges that come up
Yeah.
while you're on your way to do it, and to consistently do it, and to make sure that,
Hmm.
like, it happens over and over and over again, in a way that also funds your life. Like, I got to put that out there
Yeah.
too. Like, it's like, there's a happy-go-lucky
Very true.
altruistic element of this here, but it's like, but we gotta live.
Yeah.
We got rent to pay, we got mortgages here, we got things to
Yep.
do. you know
Hmm.
so thanks for being real about this here. I'm really excited that we're getting connected, and that we're able
Yeah,
to
me
connect you
too.
with Outliers as well. All right. All right.
Same.
So, Outliers, we're gonna end here. We'll be back in the next hour if you want to come in and join us again. And if you are interested in joining us for, like, having more of these conversations yourself, to explore both your highest possibilities, as well as, like your philosophies, how you show up in the world, and how to create in alignment with that. Like these are the kinds of things we do on the regular inside of the Outliers Edge world, which you can go to school.com/outlier to come and join us, and we'll help you refine your thoughts. We'll help you play things out, and at the very least, you have a peer group of people who get it and who will challenge you to continue to grow along the way. All right. School.com/outlier. We have a free membership. Just come and join us. All right. Until the next time we all talk, be you on purpose.